All right, Team USA gets the win over Puerto Rico, and it was an impressive performance by Team USA, at least in the second half. Let's talk a little bit about the game, the players. How did it go? How did they look? To get started, I'm a little annoyed because FIBA did not. They had the box score on their site. Normally, we'd bring up the box score and go through it. They took it down, so I am going basically off of Team USA Twitter on statistics. But anyways, watching the game, this game started off a little, you could tell that Team USA was a little tentative. It's the first time they've really played together. They haven't had a ton of time practicing. And so Team USA gets started. And the best player to start the game for Team USA was Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson started the game by, I think he scored something like their first 6 to 8 points for them to start. And honestly, it looked like they were going to really struggle to score. And there's some things to think about that we're going to talk about tonight. But Jaren Jackson showed why he's starting. There was the report that Jaren Jackson was the best player for the team for much of the camp. Sometimes when we go live, my camera goes out of focus. I'm sorry. Guys, it's been a long offseason. I haven't done this for a while. I'm out of practice. So anyways, Jaren Jackson looked great. He provides the rim protection on the one end, great offensive ability on the other. He does just so many things on the court, and he showed why it was important to start the game because honestly, Team USA did not look great. Jalen Brunson did not look like he was super comfortable. His shot tonight was not falling from three, that's for sure. He did end with 11 points this game and 12 rebounds, which is interesting, but he just did not look super good at being able to set everyone up, and there's some things to think about with that as the game went on. But for the most part, Team USA looked really solid in this one. Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson were really nice. And like we mentioned, Jaren Jackson Jr. was fantastic. As the game went on, though, and basically up until the second half, the Team USA didn't really pull away from Puerto Rico until the second half, which is interesting. But they did have a big run in the first half, and it really was kind of instigated by when Austin Reaves came into the game. He had a monster, end of first quarter, second quarter when he came in and subbed in. And he really gave them a lot better playmaking when he was on the floor. He can just do a lot of things. And I think one thing we've got to be impressed with is Austin Reaves' ability to shoot, score, just play. He's just a great ball player, and he looks even better than he did for the Lakers last season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just continues to improve, but he looked good in this one. What's nice about Austin Reaves is when he comes into a game, he can really just acclimate to what the other players are doing on the floor. If you're with Jaren Jackson, if he's playing off of Tyrese Haliburton, whoever it is, if he needs to be the ball handler and get some assists and run a pick and roll, he can do that. If he needs to just play off the ball and hit spot up threes, he can do that as well. So Austin Reaves provides a lot of value to this Team USA team, and he showed that tonight. He provided a big run. I mentioned Tyrese Haliburton. Tyrese Haliburton ended this game with 12 assists. He was awesome. He came in and just moved that ball, and this team really pulled away in the second half because of Tyrese Haliburton. And because Jalen Brunson just did not look, he was like fine, but when you're playing Puerto Rico and you really struggle to pull away for much of that game against Puerto Rico, and Tyrese Haliburton comes in, Austin Reaves comes in, and that's when major runs happen, and you could really see the game open up. I think it makes you wonder, what's Steve Kerr doing? Why is he not playing Tyrese Haliburton to start? Why is he not playing, even Austin Reaves to start? These things, the announcers mentioned it, and it's one of those things that goes on with some of these coaches in the NBA that drives me crazy. Play your best players. Play your best players. Is that so hard? Is that hard to figure out for some of these coaches? Just play your best players. The guys that help you win more, play them. This stuff where we play guys for like leadership or veteran ability is dumb, right? Jalen Brunson starting because he brings leadership is stupid. You know what you should do? Play your best players. Let Jalen Brunson bring leadership to the bench. And if he has a problem with it, guess what? It's Team USA. We got a lot of talent. We don't need you to play. Why? Because if you don't play, guess who will? Tyrese Haliburton and Austin Reaves and the Team USA will be fine. They'll be fine. Believe me, more than fine. Because guess what? Tyrese and Austin Reaves will knock down a three when he couldn't, and better playmakers. And If this Team USA team is depending 100% on the Jalen Brunson show, I don't know how well it's going to be, because there are better teams out there, believe you me, than Puerto Rico. Whose best player was like what? Tremont Waters? I'm not even sure I've got the name right, because FIBA couldn't get their stupid site to be up. Let's just try one more time. Yep, game not found. Thanks a lot, FIBA and USA Basketball. That's stupid. But anyways, Tyrese and Austin Reaves showed they need to play more. Absolutely. One of the other interesting things for this game, outside of that, is Mikal Bridges looked really good to me. He showed that, when he's with Brooklyn, he was fantastic. I can't remember. I think he might have scored 15. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have the stats with me. He was awesome tonight, though. His ability to shoot the ball, his length and size is kind of a big thing for this team. Mikal Bridges and Brandon Ingram were fantastic. They bring awesome length and size and shooting, and also just playmaking overall. That just makes this Team USA team really dynamic. Multiple times the announcers mentioned it, and it's kind of one of the stories of this Team USA basketball team. They're just very young. None of them have any international experience. So it's just incredibly young. But what comes with that, with youth like that, and with this level of talent, is athleticism, is this is a team that pushes the ball. They're not afraid to run, get in transition, score buckets in transition. That was something they did a lot of this game. And they're just long and athletic and are just, they're a fun team to watch. They just don't have the experience. So I guess they put in Bobby Portis as a backup center for that experience. Those were the two weird things to me from Steve Kerr, is starting Jalen Brunson, who's just not better. There was even a report that Anthony Edwards wasn't going to start, which was weird. Speaking of Anthony Edwards, he was the best player on the floor for Team USA. He led them in 4 steals. He knocked down some big buckets. He plays defense. He is so hyper athletic, so long, can score in so many different ways. And it's like, why wasn't he going to start? That's strange to me. That like Jalen Brunson's locked in to start at point guard, but you're not sure if Anthony Edwards is going to start. Are you kidding me? On this squad? That's strange. So anyways, Anthony Edwards, unsurprisingly, was fantastic for Team USA. Take some notes, Steve Kerr. Play your best players. But yes, that combination of Anthony Edwards, Brandon Ingram, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and then you have Jaren Jackson backing them up. You just have an endless amount of length and size and athleticism. And then, if I'm Team USA, what I learned from this game is that I think Tyrese Haliburton needs to play more. I mean, he had 12 assists, and it was in like 10 minutes. It was crazy. It just absolutely blew the game up. And it didn't really matter who was on the floor. He was getting that ball to whoever needed it, and they were scoring. And then Austin Reaves, the same way, just looked really solid to me. And the other thing with Jalen, I'm sorry, I don't care. If you're a Jalen Brunson fan, you can just tell me in the comments you're mad at me. But he's just not very big either. And this Team USA team, where it looks like they're trying to go for versatility and scoring at every position, I don't understand why Jalen Brunson, you want him on the floor, because the ball will move better with him off, and you'll have bigger size at every position. It's just the way it is. If you want to be good in the NBA, and if you want to be a team that wins a lot of games, same goes for this tournament, and, there's some things we could talk about with Team USA and how they kind of strategize things. But one thing they are clearly going for is size and length and athleticism per each position. So it makes no sense to me that Jalen Brunson starts. He shouldn't be starting. I would much rather see Tyrese Haliburton start, because then you just have bigger size, better passing, better shooting, to be honest. Then the thing that was also interesting, and Jazz fans were kind of bugged by this. I know I was, is Walker Kessler doesn't play for the Team USA until garbage time. Instead they play Bobby Portis, who did not play particularly well. I mean, he got blown by multiple times, and the rim protection was noticeably gone. And I think that's something to watch as this goes on, because there are going to be times where Bobby Portis might be played off the floor. But it's weird to me. Does Steve Kerr get bullied by some of these players? Like, he has to play them? It's stupid. Bobby Portis, he hit a couple jump shots and whatnot, but he got blown by on defensively multiple times. And this is against Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico! Okay? So, you need to be better. Hands down. Bobby Portis needs to be better if Steve Kerr is going to play him. Instead, if you want that length and size and athleticism in each position, then Walker Kessler might be a better option. Sure, he does not spread the floor like Bobby Portis does, but he can sure play better defense and offensive rebound, which he showed in his 4 minutes. So That's something Jazz fans will definitely watch. But overall, really nice game. But I mentioned him a little bit. Anthony Edwards was fantastic. He is just an absolute stud. And he has the physical tools and also just the overall talent to just absolutely dominate a game. And it may come down to that at some point with his Team USA team is Anthony Edwards, because he is fantastic. And in certain situations, you want the ball in his hands. And if he can play make and set up his teammates to score, this Team USA basketball team is going to be a lot of fun. So, pretty fun, guys. Like and subscribe. Let's give a shout out to the All-Stars who support the channel. I saw Ryan Perry, the legend, is back, baby. Shout out to Ryan Perry. Every one of you give shout out to Ryan Perry in the comments. Let's give a shout out to the All-Stars tonight. Ryan Perry, the legend. Jake C. See ya. Oh my gosh, we forgot. What was the nickname for Jake C? Jake, yes, C can. There we go, baby. I almost forgot. I would have had to go watch the old video. Jake C, yes, C can, baby. Baby Elliott Matson, Christian House Money to Haas, Ezekiel Raicibe, the man from down under. Sir Yo, Lexa Later, Built Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, Jordan the Goat, Best Roll, TGD, Total Game Domination, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, X marks the spot for Zintas, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, DWCB, Darren Williams, to Carlos Boozer, Patrick Kubo, the Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, if you're new here, like and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. We'll talk to you next game.